Hello, dear students. Welcome into the second lecture on fluorimetry or fluorometry. Myself, Mr. M.S. Bhale, I am working as an assistant professor at Gokhale Education Society's Arts, Commerce and Science College, Chawar. So, today we are going to start the factors affecting on fluorescence and phosphorescence. Okay, in previous lecture we have seen the basic principle of the molecular fluorescence and phosphorescence spectroscopy. Okay, so in these factors, first we will see all molecules cannot show phenomena of fluorescence and phosphorescence. That means this concept fluorescence and phosphorescence will not applicable to all molecules. Only such molecules show this phenomena that are able to absorb UV or visible radiation. That means those molecules will absorb UV as well as visible radiation. That molecule only gives this fluorescence as well as phosphorescence. In general, the greater the absorbance of molecule, the more intense is its luminescence. That means whatever amount of absorption of molecule will be there in particular molecule, that only it will emit a particular characteristics radiation. That means the molecule having conjugated double bonds are particularly suitable for this study. That means only the conjugated double bond molecule contains this fluorescence as well as phosphorescence. The aliphatic and saturated cyclic compounds are not suitable. That means the conjugated double bond molecule only gives this fluorescence and phosphorescence, but the aliphatic and cyclic compound will not show this fluorescence as well as phosphorescence. Now the second factor is the pH. The pH exhibit a marked effect on fluorescence of components. Example, the neutral or alkaline solution of aniline shows fluorescence in visible region, but if this solution is acidified, the fluorescence is disappear. That means when particular molecule or particular sample solution that will be present in a basic medium, it will show the fluorescence. But when we acidify, that means when we decrease the pH of that particular molecule or the molecule solution, it will disappear. That means the disappear will be the fluorescence. That will be the example of the fluorescence. Now third one, certain group present as substituents often exhibit a marked effect on fluorescence of molecule, but there are no rigid rules. Few general observations are given below. See the first observation. Electron donating groups like NH2 or OH enhance fluorescence. On the other hand, group like SO3H or NH4 plus ion and alkyl groups do not have much effect on fluorescence and phosphorescence. That means only electron donating group like NH2OH, if present on that molecule, then only that molecule show the fluorescence. But the SO3 like or NH4 plus like the or alkyl group will not show the fluorescence as well as phosphorescence. See the third one. Electron withdrawing groups like COOH, that means acidic group NO2 N double bond N and halides decreases or even destroy the fluorescence. That means just we have seen the second factor into that the acidic medium or NO2 or N double bond N, if present on that particular molecule, then that molecule also destroy the fluorescence. That means it will not show the fluorescence as well as phosphorescence. If an atom of higher atomic number is introduced into a pi electron system, it is increases phosphorescence and decreases fluorescence. See, higher atomic number or higher atom which is introduced into the pi electron system, it increases the phosphorescence but decreases the fluorescence. Now we will see the instrumentation of fluorometer or fluorimeter. Okay, up to this we have seen 2 to 3 concepts. Now we are going to start the instrumentation. Into that, for fluorescence measurement, it is necessary to separate the emitted radiation from the incident radiation. This is done by measuring the fluorescence at right angles to the incident radiation. See, that means suppose we are going to analyze fluorescence at that time, other radiations like visible radiation, phosphorescence radiation, any kind of radiation, first of all we have to eliminate that, then we can measure that fluorescence. Okay, so what is mean by fluorometer or fluorimeter? The instrument used for the measurement of fluorescence is known as fluorimeter or fluorometer. Okay, this is the definition of the fluorometer. The basic components of fluorimeters are: first is the source of excitation energy, that means radiation source. Second one, pair of filters for selecting the excitation and emission wavelengths. Two types of the filters. Third one, sample holder or cuvette, that is used for the keeping our sample solution, or we can say to hold the sample solution. Fourth one, detector. Now we will see the first of all a single beam fluorimeter. In this case, first of all we will see actually the process or the working of that fluorimeter. The light from mercury vapor lamp, source of UV light, is passed through a collimating lens and then through a primary filter. That means first of all in the working of the single beam fluorimeter, first component is the source of light, that means the mercury vapor lamp, which is used as a source of radiation. That UV light or the visible light will be falls first of all on collimating lens, and that collimating lens through on primary filter. The filter transmits that part of the beam which can cause excitation of atoms to induce fluorescence. That means primary filter select only UV light but absorb visible radiation. That means the first primary filter, whatever radiations coming through the mercury vapor lamp, okay, that will be falls on primary filter. That filter will absorb the visible radiation and only pass the UV radiation or the UV light through the primary filter. Okay, the selected radiation passes through sample solution placed in sample holder when UV light is absorbed by the sample. That means the emitted UV light by primary filter, that will be falls on our sample solution. That sample solution will absorb that UV light. Okay, because the visible radiation already absorbed by the primary filter. Then after absorption of that UV light, what will happen? This absorption is followed by the emission of visible fluorescent light by molecule of the sample. After absorption of that UV light by sample molecule, it will immediately emit the fluorescent light or the fluorescent radiation, okay, in all direction. Obviously fluorescence is there, that's why it will emit the fluorescent radiation in all direction. The beam emerging from sample holder contains fluorescent radiation and original UV light. Okay, that original UV light along with our fluorescent radiations. Fluorescence is an anisotropic property, that is sample emits fluorescent radiation in all direction, that we have seen. However, transmitted radiation at right angles to incident radiation is studied because other angles scattering from solution and cell walls can cause errors. Okay, see, that means the detector part or other part of the instrument that will be keeping into the right angle to the incident radiation. Okay, because the fluorescence radiation will be emit in all direction, but when we set up in a directly front or directly opposite side to the incident radiation, then the walls of the sample holder which creates the errors while measuring or analyzing that sample molecule. The emitted radiation then reaches a secondary filter which allows only fluorescence radiation to pass through and absorb UV light. Okay, that UV light will absorb the secondary filter and pass only the fluorescent radiation through the secondary filter. This that passing fluorescent radiation that will be reaches into the photocell, that is our detector, placed in a position at right angles to the incident beam. Okay, then the detector will be detect that fluorescent radiation and output of photocell is measured by sensitive galvanometer or other devices. So actually this is the working of the single beam fluorimeter. Now we will see actually the schematic diagram of the single beam fluorimeter. Okay, this is the diagram of the single beam fluorimeter. Now again we will see actually the all components of the fluorimeter. See, what is the first component that we have already seen? The radiations, that is the mercury vapor lamp. This is our first component. This is the collimating lens. This is the primary filter. This is focusing lens. This is the sample holder which contains the sample, our analyzing sample. The second is the collimating lens, secondary filter, focusing lens. This is photo multiplier tube, or we can say photo cell. This is the detector. This is the readout system. These are all components of the single beam fluorimeter. Okay, mercury vapor lamp. This is our first component. What is the function of this mercury vapor lamp? It will emit the UV light as well as visible radiations. Okay, in all direction. Obviously it will emit the light in a polychromatic light. In short, we can say this collimating lens that will be passing that all light in one direction, that will be reaches on this primary filter. The primary filter, it will absorb the visible radiation. Okay, absorb all visible radiation and pass only the UV light. That UV light will be again falls on this focusing lens, that all visible light will be falls on this sample holder which contains the sample solution. that sample solution absorb that UV light, okay, and emit the fluorescent radiations, okay, along with original UV light. That fluorescence radiation will be emit in all direction the light will be emit, okay, like this, all direction. But another assembly of this single beam fluorimeter will be keeping into the directly right angle, see, directly right angle to the incident beam of the radiation source, okay. Then that fluorescence radiation along with the original UV light that will be falls on this collimating lens. That collimating lens will be collect all light, that is fluorescent radiation, and UV light will be falls on this secondary filter. This secondary filter, the function of this filter is it will absorb the UV light, okay, which is coming along with fluorescent radiation, that will be absorbed, and only fluorescent radiations that will be emitted by sample molecule that will be focused by this focusing lens on the photomultiplicative, or you can say detector. That detector will be detect that fluorescent light, and that light will be read into this readout device, okay. This is the working of the single beam fluorimeter, okay. So into the next lecture we are going to see the double beam fluorimeter, okay. For today, thank you.